Hello and welcome to today's episode. The episode will deal with the contents, definition, main provisions and chapters included in the Foreign Exchange Management Act. In addition to this, the lesson will also explain the rules and regulations provided in various chapters which deal with the regulation and management of foreign exchange, authorized person, contravention and penalties, adjudication and appeal, and so on. I am Amrita Ghosh Kumar and the subject expert for today's program is Dr. S. Miraj, specializing in human resource management. Today, let us begin with a broad overview of the concept of the Foreign Exchange Management Act. This act may be called the Foreign Exchange Management Act 1999. It extends to the whole of India, shall also apply to all branches, offices and agencies outside India owned or controlled by a person resident in India, and also to any contravention thereunder committed outside India by any person to whom this act applies.
FEMA is Foreign Exchange Management Act, came into existence in 1991. This act consolidates and amends the law relating to foreign exchange to facilitate external trade and payments, and to mandates the orderly development and maintenance of foreign exchange in India. It had replaced FERA, Foreign Exchange Regulation Act. FERA was active since 1974. It was not able to handle the expansion of transactional corporations, TNCs. Now, what is a TNC? A TNC differs from a traditional multinational corporation in that it does not identify itself with one national home. TNCs expand out their operation in many countries, sustaining high level of local responsiveness. Nestle is a class example of TNC, who employ senior executives from many countries and try to make decisions from global perspective rather than one centralized headquarter.
In this act, unless the context requires otherwise, A. Adjudicating authority means an officer authorized under subsection 1 of section 16. B. Appellate tribunal means the appellate tribunal for foreign exchange established under section 18. C. Authorized person means an authorized dealer, money changer, offshore banking unit or any other person for the time being authorized under subsection 1 of section 10 to deal in foreign exchange or foreign securities. D. Bench means a bench of the appellate tribunal. E. Capital account transaction means a transaction which alters the assets or liabilities, including contingent liabilities outside India of persons resident in India or assets or liabilities in India of persons resident outside India. F. Chairperson means the chairperson of the appellate tribunal. G. Currency includes all currency notes, postal orders, money orders, checks, drafts, travelers' checks, letters of credit, bills of exchange and promissory notes, credit cards or such other similar instruments as may be notified by the Reserve Bank of India. H. Currency notes means and includes cash in the form of coins and banknotes. I. Director of Enforcement means the Director of Enforcement appointed under subsection 1 of section 36. Export with its grammatical variations and cognate expressions. J. Foreign currency means any currency other than the Indian currency. Foreign exchange means foreign currency. K. Foreign security means any security in the form of shares, stocks, bonds, debentures or any other instrument denominated or expressed in foreign currency and includes securities expressed in foreign currency. But where redemption or any form of return such as interest or dividends is payable in Indian currency. I. Indian currency means currency which is expressed or drawn in Indian rupees but does not include special banknotes and special 1 rupee notes issued under Section 28A of the Reserve Bank of India Act 1934. M. Notify means to notify in the official gazette, and the expression notification shall be construed accordingly. N. Person includes A. An individual, B. A Hindu undivided family, C. A company, D. A firm, E. An association of persons or a body of individuals, whether incorporated or not. F. Every artificial juridical person not falling within any of the preceding subclauses, and G. Any agency, office or branch owned or controlled by such person. O. Reserve Bank means the Reserve Bank of India constituted under subsection 1 of section 3 of the Reserve Bank of India Act 1934, 2 of 1934. P. Security means shares, stocks, bonds and debentures. Government securities as defined in the Public Debt Act 1944, 18 of 1944, savings certificates to which the Government Savings Certificates Act 1959 applies. Deposit receipts in respect of deposits of securities and units of the Unit Trust of India. Q. Service means service of any description which is made available to potential users and includes the provisions of facilities in connection with banking, financing, insurance, medical assistance, legal assistance, chit fund, real estate, transport, processing, supply of electrical or other energy, boarding or lodging or both, entertainment, amusement or the purveying of news or other information, but does not include the rendering of any service free of charge or under a contract of personal service. No person shall A. Deal in or transfer any foreign exchange or foreign security to any person not being an authorized person. B. Make any payment to or for the credit of any person resident outside India in any manner. C. Receive otherwise through an authorized person any payment by order or on behalf of any person resident outside India in any manner. D. Enter into any financial transaction in India as consideration for or in association with acquisition or creation or transfer of a right to acquire any asset outside India by any person.
We move from foreign exchange control to foreign exchange management, which is the core philosophy of FEMA. It was 1991 again when we heard about economic liberalization. In simple terms, economic liberalization is removal of controls to encourage development, and FEMA eased out transactions for import-export, and foreign exchange were managed instead of regulated. Example: transactions involving current account for external trades no longer required RBI's permission. If we summarize the above in one sentence, FEMA had taken care of adequate amount of foreign exchange from import substitution to export promotion.
For the purpose of this clause, financial transaction means making any payment to or for the credit of any person, or receiving any payment for, by order or on behalf of any person, or drawing, issuing or negotiating any bill of exchange or promissory note, or transferring any security or acknowledging any debt. No person resident in India shall acquire, hold, own, possess or transfer any foreign exchange, foreign security or any immovable property situated outside India. Any person may sell or draw foreign exchange to or from an authorized person if such sale or draw is a current account transaction, provided that the central government may, in public interest and in consultation with the Reserve Bank, impose such reasonable restrictions for current account transactions as may be prescribed. One, subject to the provision of subsection 2, any person may sell or draw foreign exchange to or from an authorized person for a capital account transaction. 2. The Reserve Bank may, in consultation with the central government, specify a. Any class or classes of capital account transactions which are permissible. B. The limit up to which foreign exchange shall be admissible for such transactions. 3. Without prejudice to the generality of the provisions of subsection 2, the Reserve Bank may, by regulations, prohibit, restrict or regulate the following: a. Transfer or issue of any foreign security by a person resident in India. B. Transfer or issue of any security by a person resident outside India. C. Transfer or issue of any security of foreign security by any branch office or agency in India of a person resident outside India. 4. A person resident in India may hold, own, transfer or invest in foreign currency, foreign security or any immovable property situated outside India if such currency, security or property was acquired, held or owned by such person when he was resident outside India or inherited from a person who was resident outside India. 5. A person resident outside India may hold, own, transfer or invest in Indian currency, security or any immovable property situated in India if such currency, security or property was acquired, held or owned by such person when he was resident in India or inherited from a person who was resident in India. 6. Without prejudice to the provisions of this section, the Reserve Bank may, by regulation, prohibit, restrict or regulate establishment in India of a branch, office or other place of business by a person resident outside India for carrying on any activity relating to such branch, office or other place of business.
Till 1973, the policy designed around the need to conserving foreign exchange reserve for essential imports such as petroleum goods and food grains. But during 1991, there was a change in the strategy from import substitution strategy to export promotion with sufficient foreign exchange reserves. The result was an increase in our foreign exchange reserve from US $6 billion to US $270 billion from 1991 to 2007.
One, the Reserve Bank may, on an application made to it in this behalf, authorize any person to be known as authorized person to deal in foreign exchange or in foreign securities as an authorized dealer, money changer or offshore banking unit or in any other manner as it deems fit. 2. An authorization under this section shall be in writing and shall be subject to the conditions laid down therein. 3. An authorization granted under subsection may be revoked by the Reserve Bank at any time if the Reserve Bank is satisfied that a. It is in public interest so to do so, or b. The authorized person has failed to comply with the condition subject to which the authorization was granted or has contravened any of the provisions of the Act or any rule, regulation, notification, direction or order made thereunder. 4. An authorized person shall, in all his dealings in foreign exchange or foreign security, comply with such general or special directions or orders as the Reserve Bank may, from time to time, think fit to give, and except with the previous permission of the Reserve Bank, an authorized person shall not engage in any transaction involving any foreign exchange or foreign security which is not in conformity with the terms of his authorization under this section. 5. An authorized person shall, before undertaking any transaction in foreign exchange on behalf of any person, require that person to make such declaration and to give such information as will reasonably satisfy him that the transaction will not involve and is not designed for the purpose of any contravention or evasion of the provisions of this Act or of any rule, regulation, notification, direction or order made thereunder. 6. Any person other than an authorized person who has acquired or purchased foreign exchange for any purpose mentioned in the declaration made by him to authorized person. One, if any person contravenes any provision of this Act or contravenes any rules, regulations, notification, direction or order issued in exercise of the powers under this Act or contravenes any condition subject to which an authorization is issued by the Reserve Bank, he shall, upon adjudication, be liable to a penalty up to thrice the sum involved in such contravention where such amount is quantifiable, or up to 2 lakh rupees where the amount is not quantifiable and where such contravention is a continuing one, further penalty which may extend to 5,000 rupees for every day after the first day during which the contravention continues. 2. Any adjudicating authority adjudging any contravention under subsection 1 may, if he thinks fit, in addition to any penalty which he may impose for such contravention, direct that any currency, security or any other money or property in respect of which the contravention has taken place shall be confiscated to the central government, and further direct that the foreign exchange holdings, if any of the persons committing the contraventions or any part therefor, shall be brought back into India or shall be retained outside India in accordance with the directions made in this behalf. For the purposes of this subsection, property in respect of which contravention has taken place shall include a. Deposits in a bank where the said property is converted into such deposits, b. Indian currency where the said property is converted into that currency, and c. Any other property which has resulted out of the conversion of that property. For the purpose of adjudication under section 13, the central government may, by an order published in the official gazette, appoint as many officers of the central government as he may think fit as the adjudicating authorities for holding an inquiry in the manner prescribed after giving the person alleged to have committed contravention under section 13 against whom a complaint has been made under subsection 1. The central government shall by notification appoint one or more special directors, appeals, to hear appeals against the orders of the adjudicating authorities under this section, and shall also specify in the said notification the matter and places in relation to which the special director may exercise jurisdiction. 2. Any person aggrieved by an order made by the adjudicating authority, being an assistant director of enforcement or a deputy director of enforcement, may prefer an appeal to the special director. 3. Every appeal under subsection 1 shall be filed within 45 days from the date on which the copy of the order made by the adjudicating authority is received by the aggrieved person, and it shall be in such form, verified in such manner, and be accompanied by such fee as may be prescribed. The central government shall, by notification, establish an appellate tribunal to be known as the Appellate Tribunal for Foreign Exchange to hear appeals against the orders of the adjudicating authorities and the Special Director for appeals under this Act. One, the Appellate Tribunal shall consist of a chairperson and such member or members as the central government may deem fit. Number 2, notwithstanding anything contained in subsection 2, the chairperson may transfer a member from one bench to another bench. One, a person shall not be qualified for appointment as the chairperson or a member unless he, A, in the case of chairperson, is or has been or is qualified to be a judge of a high court, and B, in the case of a member, is or has been or is qualified to be a district judge. 2, a person shall not be qualified for appointment as a special director for appeals unless he, A, has been a member of the Indian Legal Service and has held a post in grade 1 of that service, or B, has been a member of the Indian Revenue Service and has held a post equivalent to a joint secretary to the Government of India. The chairperson and every other member shall hold office as such for a term of 5 years from the date on which he enters upon his office. One, the chairperson or a member may, by notice in writing under his hand addressed to the central government, resign his office. 2, the chairperson or a member shall not be removed from his office except by an order by the central government on the ground of proved misbehavior or incapacity after an inquiry made by such person as the President may appoint for this purpose, in which the chairperson or a member concerned has been informed of the charges against him and given a reasonable opportunity of being heard in respect of such charges. One, the central government shall provide the appellate tribunal and the special director of appeals with such officers and employees as it may deem fit. 2. The officers and employees of the appellate tribunal and office of the special director of appeals shall discharge their functions under the general superintendence of the chairperson and the special director of appeals, as the case may be. 3. The salaries and allowances and other conditions of service of the officers and employees of the appellate tribunal and office of the special director of appeals shall be such as may be prescribed. On the application of any of the parties, and after notice to the parties, and after hearing such of them as he may desire to be heard, or on his own motion without such notice, the chairperson may transfer any case pending before one bench for disposal to any other bench. If the members of a bench consisting of 2 members differ in opinion or any point, they shall state the point or points on which they differ and make a reference to the chairperson, who shall either hear the point or points himself or refer the case for hearing on such point or points by one or more of the other members of the appellate tribunal, and such point or points shall be decided according to the opinion of the majority of the members of the appellate tribunal who have heard the case, including those who first heard it. No civil court shall have jurisdiction to entertain any suit or proceeding in respect of any matter which an adjudicating authority or the appellate tribunal or the special director of appeals is empowered by or under this Act to determine, and no injunction shall be granted by any court or other authority in respect of any action taken or to be taken in pursuance of any power conferred by or under this Act. Let us now quickly summarize what we have learned today. We have learned that FEMA, or the Foreign Exchange Management Act, is an act to consolidate and amend the law relating to foreign exchange with the objective of facilitating external trade and payments and for promoting the orderly development and maintenance of foreign exchange market in India. This act may be called the Foreign Exchange Management Act 1999. It extends to the whole of India. It shall also apply to all branches, offices and agencies outside India owned or controlled by a person resident in India, and also to any contravention thereunder committed outside India by any person to whom this act applies. That is all for today. Hope it's clearer now and you have understood the concept and provisions of FEMA. We will see you with another topic of business regulatory framework. Till then, take care and bye-bye.